Alright, this is the 2013 AP Statistics Free Response question number 5. Psychologists interested in the relationship between meditation and health conducted a study with a random sample of 28 men who live in a large retirement community. Of the men in the sample, 11 reported that they participate in daily meditation and 17 reported that they do not participate in daily meditation. The researchers wanted to perform a hypothesis test of HO equaling PM minus PC equals 0, and HA equaling PM minus PZ is less than 0, where PM equals the proportion of men with high blood pressure among men who meditate, and PC equaling proportion of men with high blood pressure who do not meditate. The question is, if the study were to provide significant evidence against HO in favor of HA, would it be reasonable for the psychologists to conclude that daily meditation causes a reduction in blood pressure for men in the retirement community? Explain why or why not. So the answer is no. You cannot conclude that meditation causes a reduction in blood pressure because this is an observational study, not an experiment. The treatments weren't randomly assigned, so no conclusions can be made about cause and effect. The psychologists found that 11 men in the study who participate in daily meditation. There are 11 men who participate.
Of the 11 men who participate in daily meditation, 0 had high blood pressure.
Keep going.
Of the 17 men who do.
Of the 17 men who do not participate in daily meditation, 8 had high blood pressure.
Okay, let P hat M represent the proportion of men with high blood pressure. Okay, let P hat M represent the proportion of men with high blood pressure among those in a random sample of 11 who meditate daily, and let P hat C represent the proportion of men with high blood pressure among those in a random sample of 17 who do not meditate daily. Why is it not reasonable to use a normal approximation for the sampling distribution of P hat M minus P hat C? Well, it's not reasonable because you can't assume a normality here because NP is not greater than or equal to 10 here. And then under part C it says, although a normal approximation cannot be used, it is possible to simulate the distribution of P hat M minus P hat C. Under the assumption that the null hypothesis is true, 10,000 values of P hat M minus P hat C were simulated. The histogram below shows the results of the simulation. And then the question is, based on the results of the simulation, what can be concluded about the relationship between blood pressure and meditation among men in the retirement community? So our statistic here is P hat M minus P hat C, which is negative 0.47. And if we look at the graph here, we see that in the simulation there were 17 counts of getting like that value or more extreme out of 10,000 values. So 76 out of 10,000 is our p-value. And if we let alpha equal 0.05, we see that 76 out of 10,000 is less than 0.05. So what we conclude is that we reject the null hypothesis and say there is statistically significant evidence that PM minus PC is less than 0.